Abortion is a human right, it's healthcare, and without it, people will die.
This decision must not stand. Legal abortion on demand. Legal abortion on demand.
The Supreme Court has voted to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark legislation that gave women the constitutional right to abortion in the US. In 1973, the Supreme Court agreed that a woman's constitutional right to a private life was violated by a full federal ban on abortion. The ruling meant that for the last 50 years, abortion in some form has been legal in every state of the US. This changed with the latest ruling, which means states get to decide for themselves whether abortion is legal at all. Here in Washington, D.C., pro-choice activists have turned up to protest against the ruling, and pro-life protesters have turned up to celebrate. Behind us, there have been some clashes and also some interesting conversations.
The black mother who's struggling to pay her rent and pay her bills to have to choose between her life or the life of a child.
This decision is going to have just severe impacts and cause harm on countless people. Taking away a choice, taking away an access and right to health care is literally going to cost lives of God only knows how many people, and it's a thoughtless ruling that is the antithesis of pro-life.
Well, needless to say, I'm here because I'm pro-life and happy about what happened yesterday. I have an adopted child, so she doesn't live here, so I feel like I'm here for her and for her birth mother, who were brave enough to let her have a better life with our family.
A number of mothers and daughters, and even some grandmothers, traveled together to protest the ruling.
I never would have thought when I was her age that this would be a battle we were fighting now.
I saw a sign that a young woman was holding, and it said, "I march so my daughters don't have to." And I thought, oh, that's why we're out here, Just kind of feels like, we're going round and round, and sometimes it feels like a little bit of progress and then a lot of regression.
Did you ever think you'd be back here again 5 decades later?
I never thought it would be changed. My first day of work is when Roe v. Wade came in. And it was a happy day because otherwise you got so many stories of people sick, people getting bad responses from hanger abortions. So we're hoping that we don't get that now, but what else is there?
This decision is expected to impact marginalized communities the most. Many women in trigger law states simply won't have the money to be able to travel hundreds or possibly even thousands of miles to their nearest legal abortion clinic.
So we are here to kind of represent the people of color and black women who have lost their opportunity for health care and have lost their access to abortion. People who seek abortions are people in marginalized communities who don't have the finances to afford a baby. And a lot of those women are black women. And I really, it upsets me that they don't have that choice now. So
there is a feeling among protesters that the overturning of Roe is just the beginning. There are concerns that other civil rights rulings, such as same-sex marriage and even interracial marriage, could be at risk, as well as access to basic contraception.
Here is why I'm here. My daughter is married to her wife, and I can see that's where the Supreme Court wants to go. They want to take this farther. They want to take the rights away for contraceptives and for same-sex marriages. And this is my fear too, that this will happen to her.
Clearly, this isn't just a fear of the left, but also an aspiration of the right. Far-right agitator Jacob Wohl turned up at a protest outside the Supreme Court armed with a megaphone. He repeatedly insulted the women present and told them to go home.
Well, we think they should go home and take some cooking classes.
That's what you think women should do?
These women in particular. I think they should take some cooking classes.
You think that women who are protesting should not protest and
these
should
women,
take cooking classes
well,
instead?
these women seem desperately in need of domestic skills.
I'm a pagan, yeah, you're welcome.
Do you believe in marriage equality?
No, gay marriage is next. We need to repeal that as well. That ruling was also bad in the same way that the ruling on abortion was bad. It was a new law that was invented by the Supreme Court, a new issue.
It's very magnanimous to come to a peaceful protest and to insult women and to tell them to go home. And
Well, most of these women need to lose a lot of weight. Most of these women are morbidly obese. They're going to lose their lives over obesity.
How did it feel seeing that man who just introduced himself to all the protesters, told them that they were too ugly to get pregnant, and told everyone to go home?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly, well, I don't know. I was glad that we were able to escort him out safely and peacefully, because he was definitely escalating, and yeah, and there is concern about right-wing extremists coming to DC and inciting violence, and we don't need that here. We support peaceful protest, and you know, if somebody has an opposing view and they want to share it peacefully, that's fine, but clearly this was not peaceful.
The division and the emotion of the protesters is echoed in US Congress, where Democrats and Republicans have been reacting to the news.
Now, with Roe gone, let's be very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk. In fact, the court laid out state laws criminalizing abortion that go back to the 1800s as rationale. The court literally taking America back 150 years. This is a sad day for the country, in my view.
Americans celebrate this historic victory because we know it will save the lives of millions of children and it will give families hope.
Despite a wave of trigger laws coming into play, abortion providers, such as Planned Parenthood, have vowed to continue to provide healthcare to women.
36 million women of reproductive age and many more people who can become pregnant, they're going to live in a state soon that no longer has access to abortion. 26 states we're anticipating will no longer have abortion access. But our message to our patients and our supporters all over the world is that we will not back down. We are with you. It does not matter what the court says. We believe in the legal right to abortion, and we will help every single patient express that right and be pregnant or not when that person believes they want to be. We need our politicians on our side at this moment. The Supreme Court has failed us. The Supreme Court has failed the US people, right? 8 in 10 Americans want something that the Supreme Court just made illegal in half of the states, and more than half of the states. So any politician that is getting in the way of what the American people want, that's a problem.
With the November midterms on the horizon, it remains to be seen how this will affect voter turnout and sentiment. In a country where most people support at least some access to abortion, Republicans may suffer at the ballot box for the decisions of their president's appointed judges.